I was never complacent, put my foot on the pavement. In my dream I was chasing, while my girl waited patient. Spent a lifetime on this music shit, going nowhere, I was losing it. She was right there enduring this, while her folks like, why she doing this? But Shawty didn't care what nobody said. She was gonna ride to the day I'm dead, stay by my side when the others fled. So I'm convinced that she deserves it all. She believed in me when chances were real small. I picture me driving a foreign. She riding the passenger side. Yeah, 3 in the morning, holding her head up. Yeah, there from the beginning, there from the beginning. Oh, she was there from the beginning. Yeah, baby, you were there from the beginning. Shawty my ride or die, and she is my reason why I keep on grinding to buy her expensive things that money can buy. Her beauty represents me well, she loves me and others can tell. Her heart is where my love would dwell. Talk about her man and she would rebel. I ain't ashamed, this ain't a game. She was right there in the storm and the rain, endure the pain and the financial strain. Now she gon' shine with the fortune and fame. She gambled her life for me, she sacrificed for me. She deserves it all, it's only right, you see. No matter the price, you see, I picture me driving the foreign. Me driving the front, and now my history is changing. She's my day one, and there is no rearranging. She's had my back through the times when things were straining. Now she benefits from every cent I'm gaining. Listen to what I'm saying. No dividing, no compromising. She gon' ride while I keep on climbing. Just recognize we gon' keep on thriving. She believed that I'll see greatness in due timing. I picture me driving the foreign. My shawty, she riding the passenger side. She riding the passenger side. 3 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Yeah, 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 yeah. She was there in the beginning. There at the beginning. You took me driving in the beginning. Foreign with my foreign.
Hey, good evening. It is Monday night, and you're in the right place with the right people because you're living your best life with Life Coach Kurt. Man, have I got an exciting guest tonight. You never know who you run into. You never know who you see, but you know who you need to support. And I got somebody that I want everybody to take a look at tonight and offer that support, especially if you live in North Las Vegas. Oh, sorry, thank you. Especially if you live in North Las Vegas. But first of all, you know what I got to do. Got to take care of the people to make sure I'm here every Monday night at 8 p.m., and that's my beautiful sponsors. First of all, you know I got 702 Braids for you. Got Cindy Michelle over there doing her thing. I'm telling you, if you have missed out on an opportunity to have this amazing young lady do your hair, whatever you want. Specialty is braids, but she can get them frontals and everything else in there too to make your do look right. Thanksgiving's coming up and Christmas right after that, and we're not going to even discuss what you need to look like for New Year's. You need to tap in with www.702braidsforyou.com, and they got something for you. Mention our show, you get a 10 to 15% discount depending on what you getting done to your head. But let me tell you, I had actually stepped back. I was about to drop into my braids one more time, but then I got tired of my hair being so long, and I went on ahead and shaved it back off. But guess what? January or February, I'm going to bring them styles back like I did last year. Next after that, we have Red Rum, Mobile Hair Salon, and that's Jamisa. Jamisa does some maybe things. Her mobile salon is not going no more, but she's got a storefront that's coming up real soon. You want to tap into those because she takes care of all the services. Does the hair, nails, manis, petties, and everything else. But that's what she does. Then we got my little sister, Courtney. Yeah, bougie Vegas girl. Let me tell you, the earrings, necklaces, and the jewelry that she has is off the hook. Check out her website. You just go to Google and put in bougie, and she's going to be the first one that pops up. You know, she keeps my bling going every week, have me looking good, and I can't even understand why everybody's not going to her page. Also, put in mention my show, and you get a 10 to 15% discount. Just put it in the search and the promo engine. Then we have the we mentality. We have Brandon and Tiffany Ward. They do some amazing work training, okay? If you got a place that's not performing just the way you want to, give them a call. Go to their website, book a booking with them, have a conversation, and let them really show you, based on the DISC personality assessment, they will make your team go from a 0 to a hero. Go check out Grits right now. They got amazing service, and the food's always been on top. But they just went through a whole program over there. Chena Giles, you know, I always shout you out, big sis, and that's the way we do it with them. Then I got my little bro. You know, I got to talk about that Thompson family. We got Tabitha Thompson and Tyrone Thompson. Incredible. Las Vegas lighting. Now, next week, I forgot to get them today. I wanted to put some other pictures of their lighting that they have in different kind of houses, up your staircases or above, right below the roofing. You'll be surprised how it just changes the inside of your house from looking like a $200,000 house to a $600,000 house just by having the lighting change. Give them a call. Let them know Kurt from Living Your Best Life with Life Coach Kurt referred you, and you'll be amazed at what some of the wholesale prices you'll get from them. And as well, we got to shift speeds one more time because I have another brand new sponsor that started last week. But I have so many sponsors on one page, we had to give them a page of their own. Life is good up here and Living Your Best Life. I have people that truly believe in my passion and my purpose with this platform, and we're going to let you know it is absolutely incredible. So Clean Sweep, about Sweep Clean. This is a fully bonded, insured, commercial and residential cleaning company with highest standards, and also move-outs and Airbnb. They do that as well. Got to give them a call. Tell them Kurt sent you, hey, from Living Your Best Life, and you will be amazed at what kind of work they do. And the prices are reasonable, but they're really professional prices as well. So if you got a commercial building, residential, a move-out, or Airbnb that you need to be taken care of, and you want some reliable, bonded, and insured company to come take care of that for you, hit up Sweet Clean, and they'll take care of everything for you. Now, last but not least, I always have my my Cash App up there. So if you feel free to donate to the Cash App, Life Coach Kurt -1, Life Coach Kurt 1. You know, we take anything that comes our way. If you missed out on my birthday, okay. Yes, sorry, I was just reading something that came across my screen. But if you get the opportunity and really, really want to make a change in my life, go ahead and drop a couple of quarters down there. It's still my birthday month. Don't y'all forget, I'm Scorpio season. We just ended yesterday on the 20th, or that was Saturday on the 20th. So if you forgot about me, remember about me and drop a couple of quarters in there, and I'll be happy as heck. Now, let's talk about this guest I have. Man, go ahead and bring him in, Alex. I want to say thank you to the BU team, to my amazing engineer, producer, Alex. You know, Appleheads is up. We still got them Appleheads alive, and we love you, Alex. Appreciate it. And to Natrail.com, the artist that runs this place, gives us a platform to do what we do. Any new sponsors out there that want to be on board and let me talk about your business and pump you up every week, just give me a email. You got my email and everything, or just call in and let me know, and I'll be there for you. But not least, we have Mr. Courtney Ketter in the house. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Man, this is unbelievable. If y'all don't know this guy, I mean, he's been around for a little while. He does some amazing things. all that lawyer type stuff and things like that. You got to love a man that look like us doing big things. And I love to have him an opportunity to come on this show. He's going to tell you a little bit about his background, which way he's headed going forward, and how we need to support him, especially if you live in North Las Vegas. We want to give him as much support as possible for what he's this exciting tour he has coming up. I call it a tour because he's going to be sitting on the bench real soon. But Courtney, go ahead. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
appreciate hanging out with you, Coach Kurt.
Most definitely, most definitely. So tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend.
So I right now I am a licensed attorney here in the state of Nevada. I've been practicing here in Las Vegas since 2014.
All
My
right.
primary areas right now are family law and criminal law, mostly misdemeanor practice, and that's kind of the reason why I am running for North Las Vegas Municipal Court Department 2 in June 2022 primary. And hopefully we're going to make it past there and be in the general election in November of 2022.
Outstanding. Now, I know all the judge seats are broken down into departments.
Yes, sir.
And 99% of the public don't know what them departments are until they flip to the back of the book and start reading back there.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about your department.
First of all, when you vote, because you're all going to go out and vote, right? When you vote, start from the bottom to the top. Start from the bottom. That's where I'm going to be. The judicial races are usually in the back. Usually at the bottom, so start from the bottom, work your way up. So municipal court, any municipal court here in Las Vegas area, whether it's Henderson, Las Vegas, or North Las Vegas, they all hear misdemeanor cases. Misdemeanor cases are your trespass, petty larceny, and then the most serious cases that you'll hear in the misdemeanor court would be domestic violence, DUI, and vehicular manslaughter, which are kind of rare. But mostly the ones that people are most familiar with are, of course, DUI and domestic violence. Those are the most common. Yeah.
Thank you. Don't jaywalking fall under that department?
Jaywalking also, tickets,
Tickets,
usually, any type of moving violations, traffic also falls in municipal court. Those are misdemeanors, yes.
I had a little experience over there in North Las Vegas. Not me so much, but as an advocate for my kids.
Gotcha.
Sometimes they do some stupid things.
Right,
and it really don't make sense why they got a ticket. But I was like, let's go in and fight it, man. Let's just go in there and tell them we want to see the judge. And 3 times that we had to do it, it was already dropped by the time we came back.
There you go.
Sometimes things work in our favor, but like jaywalking in your own neighborhood where there ain't no crosswalk.
Right.
Sometimes, but hey, police got to do their work. And a quick shout out to the North Las Vegas Police Department. We had our Turkey Bowl this weekend at Pearson Center, and it was absolutely so much fun. And really just breaking down the barriers and getting the kids to understand that these people put on their pants the same way you do, one leg at a time. They just got a job to do.
Right.
So if you stand on the right side, you ain't got to meet the left side. But they just people, and you never know. You might grow up to do the same thing one day.
Exactly.
So that was a great opportunity we had this weekend. It was very fun and very beneficial to our clients that were out there playing football. We didn't win. We lost by 1 touchdown, but I just say it was some bogus calls sometimes. But it was a lot of fun.
They had one officer out there. He was doing his thing. He had about 3 or 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
I don't know who he was, but man.
The quarterback wasn't too shabby himself. He's like, I don't move like I used to. I say, but you still move.
Right.
Yeah. So a little bit more about you. We talk about either the common myth about becoming a lawyer or that all lawyers try to merge to becoming a judge one day.
Right.
Is that truth or myth, or what do you think is?
No, I don't think it's true at all. I mean, I never envisioned myself running for the bench.
Okay.
It was never a goal of mine. And the main reason was I always felt like I could do more work in the community as an attorney. I started off as a prosecutor. I was in the city of Las Vegas. In their office, city attorney's office for about 2 years. Learned the ropes there, built some relationships, got to do a ton of trial work, and so a lot of experience doing trials. And then I went over to the defense side, and even still, I never really thought about it. And it wasn't until this last election cycle when I kind of saw the work that, Belinda Harris and some of the other judges really put in. And seeing that they were able to really, be themselves. They didn't have to compromise who they are and who their beliefs are, and the city still embraced that. You know what I mean? The city still supported them
Yes.
and ultimately put them on the bench. And so that kind of triggered for me. Okay, I can still be myself, be the keep my integrity and still run for office and be accepted. And so I said, hey, let's do it.
Right. So when we talk about North Las Vegas and you look at demographics, okay, so when I grew up, I lived in 89030.
Okay.
So I lived in the first North Las Vegas. I say the real back in 1977 when I moved here, and it was predominantly mixed. It was blacks and whites. Not many Hispanics in that area. They all lived off of 28th Street and things like that. I went away in the Navy, came back and forth, visited my family, and the dynamics and the demographics has changed. And if I'm not mistaken, even though it's just the North Las Vegas, but in Las Vegas, period, the majority is the Hispanic population right now, and the white Americans are the minority pretty much now based on homes.
Right.
And people living in North Las Vegas. So being that you're African American, do you have a strategy to help you embrace the Latino or the Hispanic population so votes don't get split in the other way and they understand that I'm not only for our black brothers but our brown brothers instead? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, North Las Vegas is one of the more diverse parts of the Las Vegas Valley, right? Like that.
Exactly.
North Las Vegas as a city is so diverse, as far as and not just racially, but when you look at social economically, you have a lot of veterans that live in North Las Vegas as well, because of the VA hospital, being there, and so because of that diversity, it's one of the reasons why I do want to run. When you look at the bench there, other than Belinda. When you look at the North Las Vegas Justice Court and Municipal Court, other than her, there's no other person of color.
Right.
Other than you do have Judge Hu on Justice Court, and you do have Judge Lee in the Immunity Court now. But as far as African Americans, she's the only one. There are no other, and there are no Latino judges. And so I think it's important that your bench looks like and represents your community as a whole, right? And so we don't have any black males. Hopefully we can change that. And my strategy is just, for people to kind of get to know me. I think if people know my background, like I said, I wasn't someone that ever thought about being a judge, never thought about being an attorney, quite honestly. Something that I kind of discovered later on in life. I worked for Child Protective Services, so I've always worked with families, always worked in the community, and then as I kind of worked through that job, I decided, I want to try law school, applied, got into Boyd, so I'm a local, went to the local law school, graduated from Boyd, clerked for local judges, and so I'm even though I'm wasn't born here in Vegas, my legal career started here. It was born out of my work here, my community work here, and so I'm trying to keep that going. And I think once people kind of learn that about me, that I'm kind of an adopted son, if you will, and that I do love this community and I love working with the community. I think once they kind of get to see that, the rest take care of itself.
And I like that you've been on both sides.
Yes,
so
sir.
You're well-rounded. And
Exactly.
that really, truly makes a difference because you can see things from both sides. Because, sometimes if you are just came from an affluent family and didn't face some of the things that African-American or Hispanic or Latin families face, how would you know how to
Right.
deal with that? And the law is written the way it's written. I mean,
Right.
you can't get around that. But just having fair judgment and understanding the consequences or the oppressions that some families go through or some groups of people go through. It can't jar your decision because the law is the law. But then when somebody comes into your court, when they see somebody that looks just like them, they're more relaxed to be truthful and,
Right.
and tell their story, where sometimes you wouldn't be that way under other circumstances.
Yeah.
It's just the way I look at it as many times I've been in court. So, sometimes we have to do what we have to
Right.
do. But most of the time I'm in court with these kids.
Right,
So
right.
I know all the juvenile judges. They know me too. So it's a good thing, but it's about relationships.
Absolutely.
It really is. And about doing what's right for the community.
Right.
And see, let me give a shout out to a few people that, a lot of my favorite people are on here today. I got Cindy Burkhoff. That's another one that comes from Wells Fargo that's been a friend of mine for a long time. And her kids, Lauren and everybody. I work with them at Chase as well. Cindy, thank you for always tapping in. Al, my brother, you my number one always. You always here. Hey, Summer, good to hear you. I got to catch some of your new music. Thank you for watching. And then there is my one and only, Michael D. Hollis.
Hey,
my frat brother,
Mr.
my
Hollis.
chapter president, and my friend and another part of my life. Thank you, Mike, for always being here. Mike was on here last week giving it to us, and that's great. And then I got the improbable Cindy Michelle on here doing what she do, helping me out and everything, making sure everybody understands what's going on. Malik Truth, my brother, Mr. Truth, on Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock. Malik's Truth. Y'all got to watch him, too. He's incredible. Malik don't hold no bars. He brings it, man. If you ain't never seen that show,
Gotta check him
you want
out.
something, and then don't have both of us on there at the same time. Me as his guest or him as my guest, because we take it to another level. Courtney, thank you. Courtney Randall on here.
Hey.
Outstanding. Outstanding. But, moving on, because you are saying all the right things. What advice do you have for young brothers or sisters or anyone that wanted to get into the field of law and then progress across the lines and understanding that probably they can even serve many more by getting the opportunity to serve on the bench? What would you tell them?
The number one thing I would say is be yourself. A lot of times when I talk to youth, they're kind of surprised that I'm just a regular old dude. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just a regular, black kid from the hood, just like they are. There's nothing special about me. I put in the work, and I had the support, and I just kept it pushing. And I think that always kind of surprises them. Sorry, I got something going on in my eye here. Whew. I think they're always kind of surprised at that. You know what I mean? I think most of them feel like they have to, change who they are, conform, and a lot of times I think you lose something when you're practicing when you're not your authentic self. I think in any arena, when you're not yourself, people can tell, and that if you're not comfortable with who you are, how can anybody else be comfortable with who you are? You know what I mean?
Yes,
and so when I go to court, I wear my earrings. I got my my swag going on the way I normally do. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how you present. It's about, are you competent? Can you do the work? Are you prepared when you step in there? And as long as you have all that, they don't care how you look. That's it. You know what I mean? It's can you do the job? And I think that's what most of our kids are missing. For too many of them, they have that fear of being smart and of achieving. Because they want to try to fit in. And hey, don't try to fit in. Just, stand out. Be you. Be you.
Get more from being you than you do trying to fit in with somebody else.
Absolutely.
Especially if they're going in the wrong direction.
Absolutely, yeah.
We see that a lot. And another thing we need to figure out is what happened to school not being cool. The kids I deal with, 75% of them aren't doing well in school.
Yeah.
And that reflects in why they're on probation.
Yeah, for sure.
And, we was talking tonight, and I'm like, guys, your future, I had to break out the education versus income.
Right, man. Listen.
I had to break that out and show them, you see this, if you just got a GED or a high school diploma, this is what society says you can, if you're doing everything legally.
Right,
okay,
right.
This is what all you make. So level up, man, and take pride in yourself and set something for generations. I talk about the dash on a tombstone when you got your sunrise date and your sunset. That dash in the middle is your legacy.
Yeah, that's what counts.
What do you
That's
want
what
your
counts.
kids to say about you when you leave this world?
Absolutely.
Man? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I was lucky enough to be able to eulogize my family. Most of my family, we had a minister there, but can't nobody tell the Curtly story like me.
That's right.
Baby.
That's right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just another thing that we got to work on.
Right.
So far in your career, so far, if you had to name one of your biggest accomplishments, what would that have been?
Oh man, I one of the things that I do, one of the areas I practice in is child protective services. I represent parents that have had their children removed by the Department of Family Services, and I work with them to reunify with their children. And so that's probably the most rewarding for me, because I feel like I'm really like you talk about working with the community, like that is you are working with people and children and their families directly. You know what I mean? And so being able to see these parents go through the transformation from the time they enter the system to the time that they reunify, get their children back, and have their case closed, to me, that's the most rewarding thing, because, I mean, that's it right there. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, over the decades, Child Protective Services has been used to tear apart so many families, and particularly families of color. You know, if we're honest, there are more black and brown children in the system than any other race, and a lot of times when those kids, if they get to the point where they're getting adopted out, they're adopted out by not by families that don't look like them. You know what I mean? And so now those kids are losing that cultural piece, which don't get me wrong, it's great to have parents that love you and can support you, but that cultural piece is so important.
I'm telling
You know what I mean?
Courtney, because I work.
So you see it.
Management.
Yeah.
So in our safety management department, they work with those families. As families,
Right.
trying to teach them new skills. We use wraparound services
Right.
to bring them together. And you're so right. When they get to that and they foster out,
Right.
Like you say, it's a great opportunity and kids do well, but they missing the core of the
Right.
values of the people that brought them into this world.
Exactly.
That look just like them. And to get that heritage and that lineage continue to grow
Right.
and be them. But God bless us, the system always is trying to rework itself to become better.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure with you and the things that you've done, and you've seen it down there on the deck plates. And I'll be telling you, 17 years in corporate America, out of that arena, and now for the last 3 years being in these homes and being in and seeing what parents, either single parents or dual parents, if they struggling, they struggling.
Yeah, right.
Because
Struggle
they
to
don't have
struggle.
the skills that they need.
Right.
And then we get them into other programs like FIT and things like that, where they can come in fresh and new and say, hey, I want to start a new day. I just need some guidance and
Right.
some help. And these programs are making a difference. I know Biden's on that infrastructure bill.
Right.
A lot of that money is going into places like where I work and where Mike works to help us help these communities to grow.
Right.
And look at the light look at the cup as 3/4 full.
Exactly.
Where else can I go instead of it's 3/4 half empty and
Right.
I have no hope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we definitely got to the point, I think over the decades where we kind of forgot that the family is the foundation of the community, right?
Yes,
like if my charge is to raise my children and raise, whole and healthy, emotionally healthy, children to be adults, and if I myself am not whole,
thank you.
I'm just gonna pass along my traumas and my injuries to my children, who are gonna do the same, and so we gotta make sure that our homes are stable,
Yes.
because
Yes.
that's where our children are coming from. That's where our future's coming from.
Right. Man, couldn't have said. That one touches me, brother. I'm with you on that one because I'm in them deck plates.
You're in those
On
trenches,
your
man.
level and where you're at, and you worked in it, and you see it, and you still understand that it's still all about that community.
Oh, yeah.
When we grew up, now I'm 56, I'm double nickels plus 2. I just had another birthday.
Happy
So
birthday.
It took a village to raise us.
Absolutely.
Your neighborhood, you got whooped by the auntie down the street. By the
Right.
time your mama got home, she was ready for you again. And we can't do that no more.
We can't do it.
Now we're dealing with all this social media and everything. These
right.
kids, the music is. I mean, I listen to it because I got to listen to it with these kids.
Uh-huh.
But I'm always having those conversations about this is not your reality, man.
Mhm.
This only
Exactly.
happens. Only 1% really makes it.
Right.
What's going to be your plan B?
Right.
Because you're young, trying to have a family at 16, 17 years old. Babies can't raise babies. Come on, y'all.
Man,
We got to get
trying to
smarter
tell
than
you.
this. We playing into the trap.
Exactly.
Okay.
One of the things I've done, I couldn't do it this year just because of my schedule, but I was also a truancy judge
okay.
at a couple of different schools. I did it at Legacy High School.
Tough one.
Yeah, I did it at Legacy, and then I did it at a couple of middle schools. And one of the things that was always, the biggest challenge is getting the kids to kind of look forward to the future. You know what I mean? For
Yes.
so many of the kids, their world is this small. It
Yeah.
only extends beyond to the corner of their block, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
so whatever they see within that neighborhood, that's what they see as their reality, as their future, and getting them to see beyond that and say, no, you can go on and be an attorney, a doctor, a lawyer, an entrepreneur, and that's for so many in it. That's just such a struggle. I had one girl that was clearly had great leadership qualities, but unfortunately, she was using it to lead her peers in the wrong direction. You're right, and so I started to work with her and break down those walls because you know how they have the walls up.
Yes.
And there was one day I said to her, I was like, "You are so smart and you have so much potential." And she was going to cry. Like she had never been told she was smart before.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's what we have to do is build our kids up. I think so many times we spend so much time telling them what they're not doing right
Right.
that we forget to tell them what they are doing right
You're
and
born
build them up.
amazing.
Right.
You're amazing.
Right. There's so
You
much
just have to
potential.
believe that,
Exactly.
Everything else is just society trying to dictate who you're gonna become.
Right.
But you become
Right.
who you want to
Right.
become.
Exactly.
It's amazing. Yes,
Yep.
sir. Yes, sir. So through this journey,
Uh-huh.
you've had your ups and downs.
Yep. Definitely.
Sounds like you've really gotten intact with the community.
Yes.
And that's a
Yes.
blessing. What do you wish you've known when you first got started that you know now?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think the one thing that I probably wish I knew when I first, took the bar and got through it was the relationships.
Yeah.
Building those relationships because that's something that you don't learn in law school.
Right.
You kind of learn by trial and error.
Yes, sir.
just going through it. Building those relationships with other attorneys, judges, community members,
Right,
community leaders, because the reality, especially at a place like Vegas, where Vegas is a little big city, right? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, and so it's really, I might talk to someone, hey, I'm looking for this, blah, 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 blah. Oh, talk to that person. Oh, I know that person. I didn't realize that they do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? And so that's the biggest thing is I wish I knew that from Jump Street and could have started working on that immediately. Now, 7 years in practice, I've built some pretty good relationships. But I wish I would have known that back then. It would have made things easier on me, and more importantly, would have made things easier and better for some of my clients. If I had those relationships, because at the end of the day, that's what I do this for. Is for my clients and to be a benefit to the people in the community that I serve, and that's why I'm running. Like I said, ultimately, I never thought about running. It never. People would ask me, "Do you ever want to be a judge?" And I was like, "Nope, don't want that at all." But yeah, and you know what it is? It was just kind of checking the climate of our country. You know what I mean? The last couple of years, and you see just how much influence and power. Without getting into it too much, just look at the contrast between the judge in the Rittenhour case and the judge in the Ahmaud Arbery case. And I'm just going to leave it at that. You know what I mean? And so,
nobody been looking. They just missed out on a whole lot.
right. And so, being able to have a positive influence on my community and be able to, like you said earlier, be balanced. I've been a prosecutor. I'm currently a defense attorney. So, I'm not someone that looks at as a black man, as a defense attorney, I don't look at every police officer as they're all bad. No, not at all. There are some great officers. I have some great relationships, personal relationships and professional relationships with officers, and I know that the job that they do is difficult. But I also recognize that there is some room for improvement. And there is some room for change, for sure. And on the flip side, I look at the challenges that the community faces. And so, when I see someone that maybe has a petty larceny charge or a trespass charge, I'm able to look beyond the charge and say, okay, maybe that person was trespassing because they're trying to find somewhere to have some warmth, on a night when it's 45 degrees outside. You know what I mean? Maybe that petty larceny charge was them trying to have something to eat because they haven't eaten in 3 days. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's important as a judge is being able to look at each case individually and not just look at the charge and say, okay, this is a petty larceny class. This is what I mean, case. I usually do this for a petty larceny case. This is how I usually approach a trespass case. No, let me hear the facts. Let me hear what's going on with this person, because it's a person standing before me, not a case, right? It's a person, and so I got to look at that person and see what's going on with that person, and that's what's going to drive my decision.
Outstanding. You know, you touched on something when you said relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know Shondell Newsom down there at Sumner and at the chamber.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I've probably run into him.
But he's a marketing guy, and you know he's been on my show. He's a personal friend, mentor. We really trade a lot of information. And when he says relationships, he always makes a capital REAL. Because you can have any kind of just a relationship. When you got real relationships, you know the difference. And those are the people, good, bad, or indifferent. They're going to speak to you honestly. Right. They're going to tell you their opinion. They're not attacking you. They just want you to shift your paradigm and look at things in a different way a little bit.
Absolutely.
And get that clarity. And I learned that from him many years ago when I was on the state board for the PTA. I had him come out and do some work with me, and we taught a class. And it's about relationships.
Absolutely.
It really is. Especially like you said, we're little, but we're big.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the powerful bit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm like I said, I'm learning that through this process. You know, just I mean, Vegas. You know, they always say 6 degrees separation. I think Vegas is like 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not 6. It's like 3. You know someone who knows someone, and there you go. You know, and so. And I think that's one of the things that's always been important for me too in my law practice is, you know, always being professional, always being, you know, courteous, even when I don't necessarily have the best relationship with an attorney. They don't know it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, hey, we might be fighting it out on this case, but you know, 2 cases from now, I might need you to back me up. You know, and so I think that's always important to maintain good relationships because again, small city. And the legal community is even smaller. And at the end of the day, if I'm burning bridges left and right, it may not necessarily harm me. It's going to hurt my client. You know what I mean? And that's the person who I got to be, you know, I got to always put my ego aside and do what's best for them.
Exactly. Outstanding. I had another question, but you already kind of broke it down at least. I think your unique skill is understanding the difference between people and the issue.
Right.
Because usually the issue isn't the part. We got to find out what made that issue come to fruition.
Absolutely.
And that's knowing the person for the amount of time that you give for them to explain themselves, put everything together. But I really think that's a strong attribute and a unique skill that judges need to have.
For sure.
To understand what's going on in our community.
For sure.
I commend you for that. That is outstanding.
It's one of the things I'd like to do if I'm blessed enough to win this seat is to really try to utilize diversion courts. Okay. And so for those of you that are familiar with diversion courts, usually, you know, judges have other options other than just, okay, I'm going to send you to jail or I'm going to, you know, give you some classes. Diversion courts are usually specialty courts. So right now I'm working in the city of Las Vegas. They have Hope Court, which is a drug court. They have a mental health court for people who have mental health issues that are kind of driving their bad behavior, for lack of a better word. They have Wind Court, which is for women that have suffered trauma. And so one of the things that I want to do is really utilize those, really, you know, push some of the people who come before me in those directions. Because like you just said, right, a lot of times with a lot of people, especially in municipal court, where, again, it's misdemeanors, it's petty larceny, it's trespass, it's things like that. A lot of times the crime is a symptom of a greater issue, right? And so if I'm seeing the same person coming in front of me for a trespass, he probably has a resource issue. He probably has homelessness. Maybe there's some substance abuse. Maybe there's some mental health. And so if I can address those underlying issues, guess what? Now I've solved their problem. I've solved the community's problem because now they're gonna stop committing those crimes. And so now the community is safer. If I put him in jail for 30 days, he gets out in 30 days, goes right back to the same area and committing crimes. How does that help anybody? Doesn't help him, doesn't help the community. And so addressing those underlying issues, that's the key. And so that's what I'd like to try to do.
I like you more and more. Every minute, man. And you know, that's how you get to know people, you know. You have conversation.
Absolutely.
You know, and
absolutely.
That's it. And then you start getting those underlined, that's why this is the greatest platform for you to be on, because it's going to hit every day for the next week. I want to get as many people to listen to this and understand that, everything has a purpose.
Right.
Your passion is law. Your purpose is taking care of people.
Absolutely.
Now, that's just the way I identify.
Yeah. No,
from
you're
listening
absolutely
to this
right. You're
conversation,
absolutely right.
I find myself to be pretty good about identifying passions and purpose, because that's my field. It feels like, just identifying people like that, or
Right.
people like me. It might be a whole different category you're in, but we do the things
Absolutely.
we do because it's the right thing to do. We've been
Absolutely.
raised right. We've been taught right. We've had great educations and things like that. And now we put it to work in our community.
Exactly.
To truly make a difference.
Yep. That's
All right.
that's the key.
Yeah,
That's the key.
Good. Oh, real quick, let's go ahead and give out some information. How
Yes.
listeners can, and are you on this feed? You might want to type it in.
Yeah, go ahead and type that in
the
there.
information for the website.
Right.
I'll probably put your Instagram up there
Okay.
wrong. I think I got it right. I was trying to write on 2 different things. But
Let me
give
put
them
my
a shout
glasses
out to
on.
your
Let me put my
Instagram.
glasses on there.
Give them
Put
your
my specs on.
website where they can come and support you and things like that. Let our audience
Yeah,
know where we
absolutely.
can get in touch with you at.
So the website is the letter C, my last name Ketter, Ketter, the number 4, and then judge.com. And so that'll take you to my website. There you can kind of read a little bit more about me. You can sign up if you want to volunteer.
Okay.
Come next year once everything really gets going. We're going to be out in these streets, walking the community, knocking on doors, passing on information, and we're going to definitely need people to volunteer for that. My campaign manager is probably going to cook breakfast for everyone when we do that. Don't tell her I said that though. So yeah, we can't take donations yet. The way judicial races are, we can't actually start fundraising until the filing periods close. I believe the filing period has just moved to March for us instead of January, so that's going to kind of throw everything off. But it doesn't matter. We're going to keep grinding, and we're going to get this thing done.
That's
man.
it. Hey, and I'm telling you, as many times as you want to, just let me know ahead of time, because I book my months fast. But as we keep going, I got you.
I
Just let me
appreciate
know.
that.
I know Maria hit me and said, "Kurt, we ready?"
Oh,
And I'll
yeah.
plug you
Oh,
in.
yeah.
I really, really, truly, honestly, this conversation and the way you look at things and the way you think about things and understanding that you don't have to lose yourself
Right.
to be yourself.
Yeah. Listen,
You know what I'm saying?
that was the biggest thing for me. I never wanted to get into any political role if that was going to be the trade-off. You know what I mean? We'll support you, but we need you to be less of this or more of that. That's not me. I'm either going to be me or I'm just going to not do it. That's just what it is.
Marie can tell you, I kind of stand up and got tossed out a couple of times because I don't want to bend, man.
Right.
This is what I believe in.
Right.
And if I can't get to that next spot, believing in what I believe in, it must be time for me
And
to
it's
go.
not for you. It's not for me. That's
Time
how I
to
look at
move
it.
on.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
So now, anything else you want to say towards your
All right, mister, what do you think you're
election or anything? Because I got fun questions too. We gonna get
Oh,
down
okay,
to that.
okay.
I want to make sure we got all the meat.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, vote.
Throw it out there.
Just vote. I think our community has way more power than we know we do. You know what I mean? And too many times we complain about things. We complain about politics. We complain, but we don't get up, mobilize, and let our voice be heard. And particularly when it's not a presidential election. Everybody shows up when it's the president every 4 years, but the reality is these local elections
Are the ones that count.
are going to affect your everyday life more than the president ever will.
Thank you.
And so next year we have the governor's race coming up.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. In North Las Vegas, we have the mayor's race. That's going to be huge. And then we have, these judicial races like my own. And so just vote, and do your homework. Do things like this. Listen to candidates. See who mostly aligns with your beliefs, and vote. At the end of the day, if you don't vote, you can't really complain.
That's what I
You
say.
take what you get.
You ain't out there. What you gonna complain about?
Exactly.
Listening, huh?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's too late.
to listen.
Exactly.
All you needed was a pen.
Yep.
Put it in there.
That's it.
All right, we're going to get down to the fun question. Oh, this was one last one.
Uh-huh.
In our lives, I think we refuse to fail. We might get knocked down, but quitting is permanent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We might fail at some, but we don't quit.
Absolutely.
And that's permanent. What would you say is one of the major reasons you believe people quit and fail? Is it support? Is it lack of education?
This is the thing you will need to succeed.
There's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
answer.
Oh man. Oh man. And you know, and there were times along the road, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but I think it was the end of my going into my second semester, I thought about quitting law school because it was the toughest thing I had done to that point. You know, I had a young son that I'm trying to raise, and you know, it's taking time away from him, and I really truly thought about quitting. But luckily, the people around me, you know, supported me and said, you know, hey, it's going to get better. You're going to get through this, and I'm so grateful for that because, you know, everywhere that I am now, everything that I have now is because I was able to push through that. And I think that's the biggest thing is why people do quit is that self-doubt starts to creep in. And you know,
Limiting beliefs, I call it.
oh man, I saw a quote, I think it was yesterday, and it said, I'm probably gonna butcher it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
There you go.
And that resonated with me because it's true. You know what I mean? If you have that doubt and you say you can't do it, guess what? You are absolutely right. You are not going to get it done. But if you think you can, you push through it, and you'll be successful.
You know, I teach a course. It's called 9 Essential Resources for a Full Life. Support systems is one of those resources.
Yes.
And out of these 9, the average person only has 5 or 6. The ones that have 8 and 9, they're really moving in the direction they want their life to be. And they don't have to be a big executive, make millions of dollars.
Right.
But with the support system and the resources they have, they're comfortable in their life.
And that's the goal, man. Yeah.
A lot of people I work with, the families I work with, they only have like 3 or 4 resources.
See? Yeah.
On to the fun questions.
Let's get to the fun stuff.
All right. So, what's your favorite word and why?
Oh man. I probably shouldn't say that word. Running for office. Probably shouldn't say that word. Man, what's my favorite word? Wow, that's a good one. Probably right now it's probably high. Just I'm always introducing myself right now. I'm meeting new people, you know, introducing myself as a candidate. So right now I gotta say it's high because I've been introducing myself, you know, all day, every day for the last like month or so. So yeah, right now it's high.
Why are you looking so crazy? Loving you's got me feeling kind of lazy.
There you go. Right. Exactly.
Growth mindsets look at things completely
Right. I like that.
What are you not good at?
Oh man, I can't swim. I never learned. I'm gonna tell you a story. So my mom tried to get me and my younger brother to swim. We went to the YMCA when I was probably like, I don't know, 6 and he was 4.
Wow.
And they took us in the deep end and like, you know, got us across and my mom was like, nope, we are not going back. They had my babies in the deep end on the first day trying to kill them. And so that was it. I never learned. There you go. Yep. And it's crazy because I'm a good athlete. I can do all these other things, but I cannot swim. Oh boy, they just drop you in there, right?
Back in my swimming days before I had my swimming. If you had one super,
Probably mine. I'd love to be able to hear voice what people are thinking.
That was one of mine.
There you go.
Mine.
Yeah. Oh man.
Only the good stuff. I don't want to hear the
Yeah.
If you were a type of food, what type of food?
I'd probably do something that's sweet, tastes good, but really bad for you.
We're going to drop in on that sugar back.
There you go. Yep. There you go.
That's it. And this is the granddaddy of law. You can switch lives with someone 24 hours.
Gotta be an athlete. I'd probably say like Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, he's like.
Is that Ronaldo Skeets? Jeremiah? Is that your one?
No, he's a soccer player.
Oh, okay, soccer player.
I mean, you know, one of the best soccer players ever. You know, super rich. I mean, to be able to say that I'm the best at something in the world that a lot of people desire to be the best at for 24 hours, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
So mine right now, because I change every week. I hope I get to do that. Mine right now, I'm a big-time Warrior fan.
Okay.
Big-time Raider fan, okay, because I'm from the Bay.
Okay.
But Stephen Curry.
Okay.
I watched him from the time he left college and how he would be criticized because he was small, this and that. But he's, over the years, now he's going into his 11th or 12th season. He's picked up weight. He's solid. He can stick with people like any Chris Paul used to muscle him and just get him. now he done buffed up, and he's having the best year
Yeah, he's balling this
ever.
year.
I mean, I just watch it over and over. He's just so effortlessly picking their IQ. Their basketball IQ, that nucleus on the Warriors, can't nobody hang with them, that nucleus. They look like the 2015 team right now. The bench is deep. I'm loving it. We 10-2, top record in the league. The top defense in the league, 99.6%. We shutting them down with the triangle. Yeah, I'm in heaven again. But that's who I would
That's a good
be.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to you.
Of course.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you to my sponsors as always. I mean, I appreciate everything you guys do for making sure. To my new sponsor, Sweep Clean, I really do truly appreciate you and appreciate everything you guys do. And I just want to make sure everybody knows that they do in commercial and residential cleaning with high standards, also does more as well as move-outs and our Airbnbs. So if you own a couple, 3, 4 Airbnbs and you want a really good crew to come out there and take care of those places for you, instant, hour and a half, in and out, so you can get that next family in there or whoever wants to rent it out, get in touch with Clean Sweep. Just look back through here. You can look on the first page. It has their phone number and everything. Tell them you were sent by Life Coach Kurt or Living Your Best Life with Life Coach Kurt. I want to say thank you to everybody. It's been a blessing. Stay blessed and highly favored. Amen.
Yeah. Why they so jealous? Natural. DT 702. Then I guess you got it like that. Kicking the thighs and that ass so fat. They hate it when you get attention. When you walk by, they don't say nothing. They jealous. They be jealous. Them fools, they so jealous. They be jealous. Turn heads when she walk in. Superstar paparazzi start flocking. As the beat starts knocking, shorty hit the dance floor, ass start dropping. She's truly independent. She's grinding and she's winning. The other girls pretending, not stopping till she finished. She ain't got no man unless you got them bands. You ain't got no chance. Why these hoes be hating? The drama they're creating, but it ain't even phasing you, 'cause you're amazing. Taking the thighs and that ass so fast, so fast. When you get attention, when you walk by, they don't say nothing. They're jealous, yeah. They be jealous. Them hoes so jealous. They be jealous. She like the room when she she enters. Everyone's attention, she is the center. Fellas double take when they see her. Watch her transform as the beat hits the speaker. Shawty ain't no average chick. Unless you coming with those bands, no, she's not having